In the meantime, the U.S. National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications, John Kirby, spoke with broadcaster Fox News on Sunday about the issues from the current Israel-Hamas war and the impacts it is having on the U.S. Already, the U.S. military says it will move a fighter jet squadron to the Middle East and keep an aircraft carrier in the region.
We still believe a ceasefire deal is the best way to bring this war to an end. It's also, we believe, very possible. We still believe the gaps are narrow enough to close. The other thing that we've been doing since the 7th of October is making sure that not only Israel has what it needs to defend itself, but that this war doesn't escalate to become something broader, a regional war, a regional conflict. Look, when the Supreme Leader says he's going to avenge, we have to take that seriously. Now, I don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it, but we got to make darn sure that we're ready and that we have the capabilities in the region to be able to help Israel defend itself and, quite frankly, defend our own people, our own facilities, our own national security interests. We've been very, very consistent about not wanting to see this war escalate and get broader. We've also been very, very consistent about proving, not just with words, but with action, that we're going to stand up and defend Israel. I mean, on April 13th, when Iran launched 300 missiles and drones, the United States had aircraft, fighter planes in the air to knock them down. We've now added additional naval and air assets to the region to help defend Israel again. I think we've proven time and time again that we're going to support Israel.
Well, for more on the tension in the region, let's cross live to Tel Aviv and speak with our special correspondent, Carl Bostic. Carl, good to see you. Quite a lot happening there, and the back and forth, Iran speaking, as well as Netanyahu also warning. Tell us what more you know about developments in the region, Carl.
Good evening, Suleiman. Really, the clock is really ticking now. It's been 5 days since we've seen these two stunning assassinations last week. The killing of the number two head of Hezbollah, Fuad Shukr, that was on a Tuesday evening. 7 hours later, the assassination of Hamas's political leader, Ismail Haniyeh. In both cases, it's an incredible breach of security. In the case of Hezbollah, but also Iran, Haniyeh in Tehran to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Iran's newly elected president, Mossad Pezeshkian, and hours later, he's dead, he's killed. That's why, as you mentioned, Iran is obviously, very, very humiliated by this, because Israel could have taken Haniyeh out anytime, anywhere, but instead chose to wait for this occasion. That's why Iran is saying that they have a moral duty to respond. That's why they want to enlist Hezbollah as well. Hezbollah also saying the same. Yesterday, Sunday, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken had a conference call with G7 foreign minister counterparts, saying that it was just a matter of hours, 24 to 48 hours, before Iran responds in a coordinated attack against Israel. That's why I'm in Tel Aviv right now. That's why everyone's on the edge here, because the streets have been much more quiet. Traffic's light, not as many people in the streets, and people think there could be an attack as early as this evening, if not tomorrow. There's a security meeting in Washington at the White House with President Biden Monday afternoon, which would be tonight, my time, which is why an attack could be imminent tonight. The head of CENTCOM, that's the Central Command for the U.S. For the Middle East region, he's in Tel Aviv today, meeting with Israeli military leaders, talk about a coordinated response. This is all similar to April, when you talked about the 300 missiles and drones being fired against Israel directly from Iran. But then to zoom back just a little bit, we're getting some more developments now. We see how Arab countries are really, really nervous about this becoming an all-out war. We saw the Jordanian foreign minister visiting Tehran for the first time in nearly a decade, if not more so. We've seen the Lebanese foreign minister visiting Tehran yesterday to meet with the new president, saying, yes, we understand that you have a right to respond, but please show restraint in how you do so. And now the real interesting development is this, Suleiman. We've got Iran now asking for an emergency crisis meeting in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on Wednesday. That's 2 days from now, for the 51 members to meet, not only to condemn the killing of Haniyeh on Iranian soil, but to also support their right to respond militarily, maybe impose sanctions. They failed in these kind of attempts before, and it's really unclear, if not unlikely, that Arab countries, or especially Gulf states, are comfortable supporting Iran in this. I'm telling this, Suleiman, because what that suggests that despite the fact that Blinken was warning that there could be a strike within 24 to 48 hours, now this may be held off until after Wednesday. And a final matter of context is this, Suleiman. When we had that April strike of more than 300 to 350 drones and missiles hitting Israel, that was following the killing of two Iranian generals in Damascus, Syria, by Israeli aircraft. That happened on April 1st. It took 12 days for Iran to respond, to figure out how it would respond. So now we're in day 5 since those dual assassinations. So quite frankly, Suleiman, we could be looking for several more days before we see an actual response.
And Carl, speaking of which, the implication of what this just might mean to the United States, John Kirby has been speaking. He spoke to Fox News on Sunday, where he said that the U.S. is going to likely deploy a fighter jet squadron to the Middle East.
Yes, I mean, what you need to keep in mind is this. You know, what you had on April 13th, you had about 350 missiles, rockets, and drones attacking Israel, but mostly being fired from Iran, but also from Syria and Iraq. 99% roughly were intercepted because of this coalition of countries from the US, the UK, Jordan, an Arab country, the neighbor of Iran and Israel, and I believe the French. This time, it's expected that it will be much more robust. But to put things into context, the air missile defense system, despite it being one of the most sophisticated in the world, the real weapon of choice are the drones, because the drones fly below the radar. They fly at a slower speed, and that's really what they want to do. Is they want to overwhelm the Israeli defense system. Just 2 weeks ago, Suleiman, there was a drone attack in Tel Aviv, where I am, around the corner from where I'm staying, near the former U.S. embassy. It was fired 1,000 miles from Yemen by the Houthis. So we can expect this kind of, attack, a coordinated a rocket, missile, and drone attack. And that's why the head of CENTCOM, General Michael Kurilla, is here in Tel Aviv to talk about what can we do to be ready for perhaps a much greater scale, a much more intense onslaught. Finally, Suleiman, the security assessment amongst Western diplomats is that expect many days of several blows, intense blows by both sides. That's what they're fearing and bracing for. It won't just be a one-off. It could be many days of back and forth retaliation and heavy bombing.
Well, Carl Bostic, many thanks as always. You stay safe. Our special correspondent, Carl Bostic, live there from Tel Aviv.